another text before I even get there. I want to look at, here's an interesting one. This is interesting from Justin Martyr. See, what some may not be aware of, and Sam Frost even pointed this out in his book, there were other views on the resurrection circulating at the time these church fathers were written. I think it was Dr. Kenneth Gentry, who pointed out the fact that we have probably only about 10% of the writings from that particular era. Now, I don't know if writings are still being, revealed, et cetera, that, they're still translating these things and making them available to the public, et cetera. I'm not sure. But he says there's many more writings out there. We only have just a few of them. So we don't know what the majority of the people taught there. But there are some interesting quotes when you look at some of these things. Now, he was arguing about resurrection. In other words, he's acknowledging that there were some people in his lifetime that did not hold his view of the resurrection. And he wasn't the only one who acknowledged that. But this is one of the statements that he makes concerning resurrection. So I want you to just take note of this, because all of this is addressing, Michael Holloway's his attempted refutation. All right. It says, at the same time, he foretold that in the future world, sexual intercourse should be done away with. As he says, the children of this world marry and are given in marriage. But the children of the world to come neither marry nor are given in marriage, but shall be like the angels in heaven. Luke 20:34 and Luke 20:35. Let not then those that are unbelieving, now he's talking about the people that didn't believe in his future resurrection doctrine. Let not then those who are unbelieving marvel if in the world to come he do away with those acts of our fleshly members, which even in this present life are abolished. Now, this is Holloway's man for miracles, right? So let's look at his teaching on resurrection, because he's arguing that these guys taught the resurrection of the body, and that this was the predominant view among them. And I would question that based on the very statements that they make. But now let's examine this just a little bit. In Isaiah 65:19 through 23, now this is the new heavens and new earth. He says, I will rejoice in Jerusalem and join my people. The voice of weeping shall no longer be heard in her, nor the voice of crying. No more shall an infant from there live but a few days, nor an old man who has not fulfilled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed. Now, I don't know however you slice and dice it. This is the new heavens and new earth. Read verse 17. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former things shall not be brought to mind or come into mind. This is what I create. I create Jerusalem a rejoicing and her people a joy. So that's what's being referred to in this context. That's the text that Justin Martyr is drawing from. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed. So there's still physical dying going on in the new heavens and new earth. People are still aging in the new heavens and new earth. And of course, he says they shall build houses, inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards and eat their fruit. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree, so shall be the days of my people. And my elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. Now watch this next verse. Go back to the left-hand side and see where Justin Martyr says, when this happens in the world to come, God's going to do away with those acts of our fleshly members. In other words, sexual intercourse should be done away with. That's how he was trying to respond to these people. And verse 23 says, they shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth children for trouble. Well, how are they producing children? How are they bringing forth children in the new heavens and new earth if sexual relationships have ceased? That's what Justin Marty taught. For they shall be the descendants of the blessed of the Lord, and their offspring with them. That's what happened when you make these men your authorities.